your head about what's going to happen during the day-to-day. Just notice all of that, and then try and find a little bit of focus in your attention on your breath straight away. So breathing in and out through the nose unless your nose is blocked. Just getting this smooth, steady inhale and exhale of breath. If you want to, and if it's something that you want to explore, you can take what's called an ujjayi breath. This is like a victorious breath, it means. And it's, you do it by constricting the base of your throat very lightly so that you make this audible sound, but it's with your lips closed. So you will feel yourself breathing in and out through this slight constriction. And this just makes a sound like the ocean wave, but it also brings your focus really more fully on your breath and builds a little bit of internal heat as well. So if you want to try that, then this is a good practice to try it. So continue with this awareness on your breath, and just bring your right hand onto your solar plexus, so the middle of your belly, and the left hand over your heart space of your lungs. And really feel that sort of connection between your hands and your body, giving yourself a sense of being grounded and here. And then as you continue with this breath and your hands in these places, I'd like for you to go through 3 things. This is what I do before I practice my yoga. I'm sort of bringing one of my favorite things that I like to do before I do any self-practice. So start by thinking to yourself, asking yourself the question, what is my intention today? What is the intention maybe for coming on the yoga mat and practicing yoga with my friends? Or what is my intention for the whole day ahead? How do I want the day to go? How do I want to feel? So just starting the practice of yoga with a clear intention. And then the next thing I want you to ask yourself internally is, what can I be truly grateful for in this moment today? What, or maybe who, am I really grateful for? And then thinking to yourself and speaking to yourself as though you're speaking to somebody who you love very much, I want you to tell yourself something about yourself which you love. I know this is probably really difficult for a lot of us, but just internally say to yourself something about yourself that you love. Maybe it's your kindness or generosity, or maybe it's that you're a good listener, whatever it is. Just name that to yourself now. Continuing with that breath, breathing in fully, and maybe opening your mouth and sighing out. Good, and breathing in fully again, one more time. And if you like, opening your mouth. Lovely. Opening your eyes, and just reaching behind you, and maybe taking the block out of the way and changing the crossing of your legs so that the other leg's in the front. Just warming up through your physical body. Reaching the arms up to the sky. Take a big breath in, interlace the hands and press the palms up to the sky. Oh, that feels really nice. All the way down through the sides of your body. Inhale. And then exhale, bring the left hand down, reach the right arm up and over. Lovely. Breathe in, come back through center. Right hand down, left arm up and over as you exhale. Do that one more time on each side. So inhale, come back up to center, and exhale over towards that side. Breathe in, come back through the middle. So let your breath guide your movement. Exhale over towards that side. Lovely. Come all the way back to center, taking a nice easy twist, left hand on your right knee, and just right hand behind you, and take a little twist. Breathing in here. And breathing out, coming back through the middle, and then right hand on left knee, taking a twist over to the other side. Lovely. Breathe in one more time, come back to center. Gorgeous, everyone. Reach your hands forwards and come into a tabletop. Make sure you've got any props at the front of your mat if you need them. And we're going to just find yourself in a tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Taking 3 cat and cows together, just ease into your spine. So breathe in, start to bring the tailbone up. Let the belly sink down, maybe squeeze the backs of the shoulders together and look forwards. And then full breath as you press the ground away, round to the upper back, look between the knees. 2 more, breathing in, maybe taking that Ujjayi breath if you want to. And exhale, round the back. One more time, inhaling, finding that nice cow position, lovely smile on your face. Exhale, round the back. Gorgeous, come back to the center. And then tuck your toes if they're not already. Make sure your fingers are spread nice and wide. And then hover your knees up. Just hold it here just for a breath. Just see how your belly feels when you're in this position. And can you hug that navel in towards your spine a little bit more. And then breathe out, lift your hips up to the sky and find a downward facing dog. Maybe bending one knee, bending the other, pressing the ground away with your hands. Lengthening the neck. Really maybe nodding, shaking your head, getting a little bit of ease in the neck. Tension away from the shoulders and the breath smooth and steady. Lovely. When you're ready, find stillness in your down dog. So if you want, you can bend your knees a lot, lengthen the tailbone up, press the ground away with your hands. Lovely. Inhale, come forwards to a plank for me. And then straight away bring your knees down, hug the elbows in, and exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Good job. Bring your hands behind you and interlace them behind you. Come up to a locust pose. So start to lift the shoulders, the upper body, the feet come away, maybe the knees. Maybe you bring your feet to touch. Maybe you try and touch the soles of your feet together. See how that activates the muscles in your bottom. Breathe in, keep the back of the neck long. And exhale, lower down. Hands come under your shoulders and press back all the way to downward facing dog. Don't forget you can always skip a down dog, find a child's pose, come to some rest if you need it, and just listen to your body and then join us when you're ready. Lovely, next breath in. Start to walk your feet until they're behind your hands and come to a forward fold. Again, let your knees bend if you need them to, and let your feet be hip width apart. So you can bend your knees, maybe your belly and thighs are touching or close. Relax your neck again, hold on to your opposite elbows, just let yourself sway left and right. Move the balance from the left foot to the right foot, see how that feels, and eventually find yourself in the center of the 2 feet. Looking behind you, finding a little bit of different focus, a bit like we did last week, changing our perspective, going upside down. Good. One more breath, breathe in. And exhale. Release the hands down towards the mat. Remember, you can always bring the ground up to you with your blocks. Inhale and come up halfway. So squeeze the backs of the shoulders together or reach the hands back. And then breathe out, fold forwards. Lovely, everyone. Looking good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. I think you're there, Gwen. Hello. And then round through the back. Start to curl up, one vertebrae at a time, pressing through the feet, feeling the ground underneath. Head comes up last, shoulders roll back and down. Welcome, everybody. Breathe in and reach the arms up, lengthening up to the sky. And hold on to that left wrist with your right hand. If I'm not mirroring you, just do as I'm saying, not as I'm doing. And exhale over to the right side. Get a nice side body stretch in that left side. Inhale, come back to center. Switch the grip, hold on to the right wrist or forearm with your left hand and breathe out as you go over. So remember, the breath is central. Breathe in, come back to center. Release both hands and then sit yourself back and find a chair pose. So your feet can either be touching or you can have them hip width apart. Imagine you're really ripping a block in between those knees, so engaging through the pelvic floor muscles a little bit. Sit down a little bit lower if you can. How is your breath here? Breathing in, breathing out. Sit down another centimeter. Well done. Inhale. Or exhale. Excellent, Kim. And straighten your knees, fold forwards. Breathe in, halfway lift, lengthen and straighten the back of the body, arms can reach back if you like. Exhale, hands come down and step your right foot back, bring your right knee down. So remember, hands down to mat or block. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Lengthen all the way up through to the fingertips. Think about tucking the tailbone a little bit so that you're lengthening the hip flexor. And the back toe can be tucked or untucked. Then bring your left arm down, your right elbow on top. So all familiar moves today, just revisiting everything. Using your breath as your anchor. Lift the elbows up a little bit and move the hands forwards. If you like, you can stay like this, or maybe take a little bit of a back bend, looking up towards the ceiling and challenging your balance. Lovely. Stay with that breath. Just notice what happens to your breath when you go a little bit deeper. And then come back to center. Lovely. Release your arms, reach them all the way up again. Find that length. Hug the low ribs towards each other. And then both hands down. And step back to downward facing dog. Good job. Let's go through one very nice, slow, considered vinyasa. Inhaling through to a plank. Exhale, bring your knees down. Or you don't have to if you want to, otherwise lower all the way down. Good, and then stay in a cobra this time. So inhale, peel the heart up. Keep pressing the pubic bone down into the mat. Drawing the shoulder blades towards each other behind you. Lovely. Exhale, lower down. Press back, downward facing dog. Good job. Breathe in here. And breathe out. You can sigh out at any time if you want to release any tension. You look forwards to the top of the mat and you're going to step your right foot between your hands. You can do it from here or you can come with me. Bring your knees down. Step your right foot between your hands so that your left knee's down and reach your arms up to low lunge. Yeah. Inhale here. Remember again, lengthen that tailbone down so that you feel a nice opening in that left hip flexor. Reach the fingertips up high and think about knitting those ribs towards each other so that your core is lightly hugging in. And then bring that right arm down, left elbow on top of it, wrap the forearms around each other, lift the arms up. Stay here and breathe. Or else, find that light back bend. Don't worry if you're wobbling. This is quite a hard balance pose, so you're doing really well. Just to keep breathing. And exhale. Beautiful. Come all the way back center if you are in the back bend. And release the arms, reach them up to the sky again. Find a little bit more length. And then both hands come to the front of the mat and step that back foot to meet the front, fold forwards. Lovely. Inhale, halfway lift again, so hands could be towards shins or knees or back. And breathe out, fold. Pressing your feet down, reach the arms all the way up. You can bend your knees as you come up if you like. Look up to your palms if your neck feels okay, and maybe take a little bit of a gentle standing back bend. And then exhale, come through center, hands to your heart. Good, you'll move through some standing asanas now. So inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Feel the shoulders as you do this. Breathe out, arms come out to the side, or fold forwards, bend the knees if you need. Inhale, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, step that right foot a long way back and turn the toes to the right, keep the left knee bent, come into warrior two. So nice strong warrior two. We're going to stay in each of these poses for 5 breaths. Your 5 breaths might be different from mine, so if you're breathing more than 5, stick with it, do your best. So your front foot is ideally in line with your back arch, but just go with what feels good and focus on your breath today. See if you can get strong. Arms are in one straight line, and your drishti, so your focus, what you're looking at, is down the front fingertips. What about 2 more breaths? Breathing in, lovely everyone, and breathing out. Sit down, another centimetre, challenge yourself, inhale, well done, and exhale. Keep your legs exactly as they are. I know this is tough. Take a peaceful warrior, right hand down, left arm up. 5 breaths here, stay with me. Don't forget, as long as you're breathing, you can always straighten the front knee if you need to, as long as you're doing that smooth, steady breath. That's right, Karen. Yeah, you got it. Inhale, 3 more breaths, and exhale. 2 more, breathing in. And breathing out. Soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Lovely, bring your hands back to center. Straighten that front knee. Oh, well done. Heel toe the back foot in, finding triangle pose. So I like to use a block here, you might want to too. You're going to reach that left arm forwards and the right hip goes back. You're in a straight line. You might have shortened the gap between the front and the back foot. And then just bring the left hand down wherever it reaches. I like to bring a block, it can be inside or outside the foot, depends on how your hips feel really and your shoulders. And then turn and open that right shoulder so it's in line with your left, reach the right fingertips up. Press into both feet equally, so try and have both legs straight. And try not to reach the floor just so that you can reach the floor, but find length in the sides of your waist. That's lovely, everybody. 2 more breaths here. We're staying for 5 in each pose. Inhale. And exhale. Breathe in. Keep the necks long. And breathe out. Well done, Jean. Lovely. Inhale, come back to center. Ooh. And then bend into that left knee again. We're going to find side angle. So as you exhale, you might bring your hand back down to the block if you had it there, or you might bring your elbow to that left knee. Reach the right arm up to the sky and then extend this. So reach the right bicep close to your ear and the fingertips stretch forwards. Have that long line of energy as your fingertips reach forwards and your back foot presses down. Good. And try and open yourself to the side of the room a little bit more rather than letting this pose bring you forwards. Gorgeous. And how is your breath? Back 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Try and keep the neck long. Try not to let the head get really heavy. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Oh, lovely. Come back to center. I know it's tough. And then windmill your arms. Turn and face the front of the mat. Step back to a downward facing dog. Just pause for 1 breath here and then we'll move on to the mat for vinyasa. So inhale first. And exhale, maybe sigh it out. Relax the tension in your jaw, your shoulders. Breathe in, come forwards to a plank. And then exhale, lower all the way down onto the mat. Belly down. Bring your arms behind you again. Interlace them, find a nice locust pose. Zip up your legs, lift up, lengthen, fly a little bit. Lift the hands away from your low back if they're interlaced. Breathing in. And exhale, lower down. Hands come under your shoulders. Press back all the way to downward facing dog. How are you doing? Breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. Look forwards to the top of the mat and journey your way there. So just step or maybe take a little hop if you want to, your practice. Breathe in, halfway lift. Remember you're strengthening the back body every time you do this. And exhale, fold. Remember you can take rest at any time. Press the feet down, come all the way up to standing, look up and stretch up, palms join. Little gentle standing back bend, maybe feel a bit more open. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do the other side. Breathing in, reach the arms up to the sky. And exhale to fold forwards into Uttanasana. Bend knees if needed. Breathe in, halfway lift. And exhale, hands come down. Left foot steps to the back of the mat. Turn the toes to the left. And then come up to warrior two. So the left foot's back, the right foot's forward this time. Arms are strong in one line. And you just use down the front fingertips. And your gaze is steady along there. Sit down 1 more centimetre. Got about another 3 slow breaths. So notice where your breath is. Notice if you're shaking, that's okay. 1 more inhale and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Keep your legs just as they are if you can. Come into a peaceful warrior. So the left arm goes down, the right arm reaches up. Maybe a little bit of a back bend. Not too much, just find a length through that right side body. Keep that right knee bent as much as you can. Lovely. Listen to your breath. If you're doing that Ujjayi breath, see if you can keep it smooth and steady. Or just about 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more inhale. And breathe out, come back to center. Well done everyone. Straighten that front knee. Maybe shorten the gap between your front foot and back foot. Make sure you've got a prop if you used your block to bring the ground up to you, finding triangle pose. So reach forwards with the right hand, back with the left hip. And then when you can't stretch forwards anymore and you're keeping that nice long line, both sides of the waist, your right hand will come down. Turn and open the left shoulders. And maybe reach the left arm up. If you do have a shoulder problem, which I know some of you do, bring that hand behind you. You don't always need to raise that upper arm in any of these asana. You can always bring it behind you to keep that openness. Good, about 3 more breaths. So breathe in. And breathe out. See if you can look to the side a little bit more and open the chest a little bit more. 1 more. Breathe in. Well done, Jean. Yeah, you I'm talking to. And breathe out. Well done. Inhale, come all the way back up to center. Bend into that front knee. Maybe you're widening the stance between your feet, coming into your side angle. So either elbow on the knee, right elbow on the knee, or hand down towards the block. Left arm up to the sky, then open up. Find a lot more space as you reach the left fingertips forwards. Press into the outside edge of the left foot. Get strong, so try not to lean all your weight into that right elbow on the knee. Good. So I think, Carolyn, are you over your front leg? Your right leg? Carolyn, you should be over your right knee, not your left. You are, yes. Oh yes, you are, sorry. Actually, I was looking, yeah, I was saying you and I was meaning Kim. All right, next breath in. You've got both the same colour hair, that's why. Come back to centre. Sorry about that, Kim and Carolyn. Good, pause here. Windmill your arms down to the front of the mat. Step back to a downward facing dog. That's the trouble when people are upside down. You just see this lovely blonde hair. Breathe in, come forwards to a plank. And exhale, lower all the way down onto the mat. I like to come down onto my knees when I'm doing this so I don't let my lower back sway. Take another cobra, so inhale, start to peel the heart up. Keep the pubic bone pressing down, reaching the back of the shoulder blades towards each other. Really get a benefit out of this. Or a locust is good as well, Kim, if you prefer that, that's fine. Exhale, lower down, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Just take a moment, breathe in. Maybe open your mouth and sigh out. Remember your intention. Whatever it was you named yourself as your intention for the day. And then look to the top of the mat and journey your feet until they're behind your hands. Lovely. Breathe in, halfway lift. Straighten the back of your body here. Lovely bit of exhale, fold. Round through the feet. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Maybe another standing back bend. Feels so nice to open up into the front body sometimes. Hands to your heart. Good. One more variation of standing asanas. Inhaling, reach the arms up. Look up and stretch up. Oh, feels so good in my shoulders today. Exhale, arms come out to the side. Let your knees bend if you need. Let the head come forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. And breathe out. Hands come down. Again, step the right foot back. Turn the right toes to the right. Come up into warrior two. And we're going to take a variation of warrior two. Well, it's a side angle variation and triangle variation. So start to reach the left arm so that the fingertips are on the inside of that thigh and that calf muscle, and the right fingertips are stretching up. If it's too much for you to go here and you're struggling, your back doesn't like this, bend the elbow, put the elbow on the knee like you did in the side angle. Better than injuring your back, okay? So Jean, can you bend that front knee a little bit more and then put your elbow on that front knee? And then with your top shoulder, can you bring it round behind your back so that you're not straining your shoulder? Yeah. And then open that shoulder a little bit more. Yeah, I don't want you to hurt yourself. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. As long as you're breathing, that's the main aim today. Inhale, come back to center. Straighten that front knee and then turn your toes to the side of the mat. Don't worry if you're facing away from me, just listen to my voice. Bring your arms out nice and wide. Take a big breath in, and then you're going to fold forward. You're going to lead with your chin, keep a nice straight spine. Hinge from your hips as you breathe out, come all the way forwards. And then when you can't go forwards anymore, relax your gaze, relax your neck, bring your hands down, either to hold on to your feet or let them rest on the floor, or if you can't quite reach the floor, that's fine. Bring the ground up to you and use your blocks. And just let yourself lengthen a little bit through the back of the legs. You can always bend the knees slightly, relax the neck, and keep the breath steady and smooth. So in this forward fold, you might have your weight a little bit more on your toes and a little bit less in your heels. And your feet are sort of slightly pigeon-toed. You can rock forwards and back if you like, or you can stay perfectly still. But relax your neck, look behind you, and notice how your breath is when you're upside down. And then bring to mind again that for which you're grateful for today. It might have changed since earlier in the practice, and that's okay. Lots of things to be grateful for. Next breath in, come up halfway, so that you're lengthening, halfway lift. Hands come onto your hips as you exhale. Hug the belly in, keep really nice core control, come all the way up to standing. Good job. Then turn the left toe to face the top of the mat. Keep your hands on your hips for the moment. Step your right foot in so that it's about a third of the distance forwards. And then step your right foot slightly out to the right a little bit. So the feet aren't completely in one line, they've sort of got a little bit of a gap between them like a train track. Then bring your right outer hip to face the front of the mat, and your left outer hip sort of pulls back in line with your right. So it's like trying to get your shoulders and hips to face the front of the mat. Lovely. Then bring your hands behind you, like we're going to do a locust again, and interlace them. Take a big breath in. Try your best to keep your legs straight, but you can micro-bend them if you need to. As you exhale, come forwards again, hinging from your hips, leading with your chin, just like you did in the forward fold a moment ago. But this time one leg's in front, so you might find balance is tricky, but just keep your breath and your gaze steady. When you can't go forward anymore, relax your gaze towards the front toes. You can always release your hands if you're finding balance a little bit tricky. Bring them either onto the mat or onto the blocks, bringing the floor up to you. Alright, so just do what feels good, but stay with your breath today. So this is all about your breath. Totally central to it. Doesn't matter if you don't look exactly like me. Just stay focused on your breath and on keeping your body safe. One more breath here, breathing in and breathing out. Lovely, next breath in. If you've got hold of your hands behind you still, just release them down towards the floor. And then step the back foot to meet the front, forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, coming all the way up to standing in a minute. Exhale, fold. Staying with that breath. Go around through the feet, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Look up and stretch up. Lovely, Lisa. Looking up, maybe starting back bend again. And hands to your heart. One more side standing. Inhale, reach the arms up, feeling nice and open here. Exhale, fold forwards, bend the knees. Uttanasana, forward fold. Stay with the breath. Breathe in, halfway lift, straighten the back of your body. And then breathe out, this time step the left foot back, turn the left toes to the left, and come up to that warrior two to start with. Good, and then we're going to find that variation of triangle, side angle. So bring that, the left fingertips towards the left heel, that left arm, the right arm should I say, not the left arm, the right fingertips towards the right heel, turn and open the left arm up. If you balance by using your hand, your elbow on the knee, do that on this side. So try and repeat what you did on the other side, but make it feel easeful in your body, okay? Because you're focusing on your breath today. So breathing in. So Jean, can you bend that right knee a little bit? Yeah, and then put the elbow on the knee, bring the left hand behind you again so that you can open up without any strain on that shoulder. Good, everyone inhale. And exhale, lovely Deborah. Lovely, next breath in. Come all the way back up to center. Lovely, and then turn the right toes to face the side of the mat. Pigeon toe your feet again. If you found it really easy, you might want to make the gap smaller between your feet. If you found it slightly tricky last time, maybe widen the gap between your feet. This time bring your hands on your hips and roll the shoulder heads back and bring the elbows towards each other so that you're really creating a nice space in the collarbones here. Inhale here. Breathe out, start to hinge from your hips. Keep the elbows working back towards each other. Lengthen, lead with your chin. Relax the neck, relax the gaze. And then you can keep your hands on your hips if you like, or you can bring them down onto the mat, a block, or your feet. Let go of any tension in your neck and see how your breath is again. And then again, thinking to yourself what it was that you said to yourself as though you were talking to someone you love very much. Something we don't do very often. Or at least not often enough, I think. One more breath here, breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. Next inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the whole of the spine. As you breathe out, bring your hands onto your hips, hug the low belly in, come all the way up standing with strong legs. Good job. Then turn your right toes to face the top of the mat. Hands stay on the hips and step your left foot in about a third of the way and then the left foot out to the side a little bit so that you've got a little bit of a wider gap between the feet. Good. And you can, the back foot is either slightly angled at 45 degrees or you can even turn it a bit more to the front. That feels better in your hips. Turn and bring that right outer hip back, left outer hip forwards. Lovely, and this time again, interlace your hands, press down into both feet, hug the low ribs in, take a breath, and then hinge from your hips. Keep bringing that right outer hip back, left outer hip forward, so that you're hugging the inner thighs. Coming forwards into this Prasarita Padottanasana it's called, which is a pyramid pose, so it's supposed to look a bit like a pyramid. And then stay with your breath, just relax your gaze. You can always relax your hands down to the top of the mat. You can always adjust your feet if your hips aren't feeling comfortable. Lovely. Stay with that smooth, steady breath. like you did at the beginning of class. And one more here, inhaling. And then exhale, release both hands, place them at the top of your mat and just step the back foot to meet the front, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. And breathe out to fold. Around through your feet, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Look up and stretch up. Another standing back bend. Feels awesome here. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good job. If you need a drink or anything, take it now and grab a block. We're just going to do one standing balance today. I know you're all familiar with it. I know you've all done it before with me. A tree pose with the block on your head. Okay? Getting nice and tall, finding a sense of balance in your body. Obviously, if you want to hold on to a bit of furniture, that's fine. Our main aim is to get with our breath today, okay? So I've got a beautiful picture of you all doing this at some point. Not you, Deborah, I haven't got you a picture of you doing it, but most other people I have. So bring the blocks, you can hold it on your head to start with, maybe with one hand. And then you're going to bring the weight into your right foot, so I'm going to mirror you. Make sure that you're really pressing down into the big toe mound, especially in that standing leg. And that you can feel all the parts of your feet, the front and the back, pressing down equally. You're not leaning in, you're not leaning out, or back or forwards. And then your quadricep muscle is nicely engaged and you're hugging your low belly in. Your shoulders relax away a little bit from your ears to get a nice long neck, but have that engagement of your core. Bring that left knee out to your side. So this should be alright for your hip there because you're not crossing over. And then come into your tree. So you might want to bring your sole of your foot to your calf or grab a hold and bring it up to your inner thigh. Or you might even want to touch the ground here with your toe. Keep nice and long in the neck and relax your hand away from the block if you can. Keep looking forwards. Staying with that inhale and exhale of breath. I'm going to take about 5 or 6 more breaths from now on. So keep grounding through the standing leg. Don't worry if you fall out or if you have to hold on to something from your balance. Just notice how your breath is affecting your physical posture and how your breath is affecting the calmness that you can bring on yourself when you're breathing smoothly. 2 more breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. You can grow your tree if you like. That's beautiful. Well done. 1 more breath. Good. Bring your hands back to center if your tree is blossoming. And that knee to the front. Place the other foot down on the ground. And just shake it off. You can release the block for a moment. Well done. Hopefully that breath was smooth and steady and the nerves are calmed and everything feels really good. When I say nerves are calmed, you know what I mean. You feel a sense of calm. Alright, should we do the other side? Bring the block onto your head. Good. You might want to hold on to it with one hand still. You might want to not hold on to it at all. And then nice firm planting into that standing foot. Remember all the basics and never rush into it. Get nice firm quad, core engaged, relax the shoulders. That knee comes out to the side. And then take the option that you did on the other side. So wherever the foot or the toe was, whichever variation you did, give it to yourself, find that balance. Relax your hands, look straight ahead and stay with that smooth and steady breath. Remember, you don't have to do this, you don't have to use the block. It actually does help you find a little bit more sort of center of gravity feeling. You can grow branches if you like. We've got about 4 more breaths here. Remembering that Ujjayi breath if you want to take it. When you first start learning that breath, it's difficult to stay with it the whole time, but eventually it just becomes second nature. 1 more breath here, breathing in. Lovely everyone, looking really good there, gorgeous. Exhale, your hands can come back to center, bring that knee back to center, and place the foot down. Lovely. Take the block, just pop it at the top of the mat, shake it off. We'll make our way down onto the mats now. All right, so breathe in, reach the arms up. Or you know, I like to go down this way onto the mat. Exhale, fold forwards. Of course, you can just come down. Inhale, we're going to find our way all the way to the belly. Exhale, hands come down, step back into a plank. Good. And then bring your knees down, hug the elbows in, lower down really slowly with control. Not too fast, Kim. Kim, come back. For 4, 3, well done. 2, hug the elbows in, get those triceps stronger. 1, and how was your breath? Lower down, well done. Oh, well done, Lisa, that was slow. Good, bring your hands behind you, palms face down. And then lengthen the back of your neck, zip your legs up. I'm going to take a locust like this time. So as you inhale, start to peel the shoulders up. Keep the back of your neck long so that you're looking to the top of the mat. And then lift your legs up. Good, then reach your arms up by the sides so that you're flying a little bit. You might want to reach your arms out to the side so they're like a little bit like aeroplanes. But really find the back of your neck long, lift your feet up, zip your legs up. Imagine you've got a blueberry under your belly button. Hug that away from the ground a little bit so you don't squish the blueberry. That's it, Alex. Stay with us. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Oh, lower down. You can bring your forearms to the front of your mat. Rest your forehead on the back of your hands if you like. Maybe rock your hips left to right, left to right. We're going to do one more. And you've got an option this time. If you want to, we're going to take a floor burn. It's called Dhanurasana. By bending both your knees. I know that this might not be suitable for everybody. And if that's you, that's fine. Just do a locust again like we did the first time. If you can, you're going to bend both knees and reach around. So I know a lot of people, the shoulders this won't work. So don't worry about it, stay with the locust. Both are equally as good. If you're here holding onto your feet, try not to let your knees come out really wide. And then start by rolling the tops of your shoulders, the shoulder heads, back and down. Squeezing in the back, upper back, so you're squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. As you breathe in, you're going to start to kick the feet against the hands so that you get a little bit of lift in the upper body. You might not come up very high. If you're doing locust, you're coming up into locust with us. And you can always vary it by taking a cobra if that's your preference. Wherever you are, see if you can focus on the breath. I know this is a difficult pose to breathe in. Just do your best. We're here for about another 2 breaths. Breathing in, kick back more, and breathing out. Don't worry if your knees don't come off the floor, it doesn't matter. Inhale, kick back more. And exhale, lower down. Relax the feet down to the floor. Hands come under your forehead. And maybe rock your hips from side to side, or perhaps take windshield wipers with your feet from left to right. Ease off any back tension. Lovely. From here, relax your legs back down if you were windshield wipering. Hands come under the shoulders. And come all the way up to standing on your knees. So we're just going to take one back bend, which is a nice camel pose, Ustrasana. I know we've done this quite a few times, but just as a reminder, in case you're not sure, option to have blocks by the side to reach back. Option otherwise to not hold on to anything and just keep supporting your low back, because it's not for everybody to go all the way back. Or to hold on to your heels. Okay, so with this pose, this asana, I want you to keep your hips and knees in one line and your knees about hip width apart. You keep sending the hip points forwards and lifting from the sternum here rather than bending into the low back. So always start with that intention in mind that you're going to lift from your sternum and you're going to lengthen from your heart space up. Bring your hands to support your lumbar spine there, right at the back, bottom where your sacrum is. So you keep lengthening that down and avoid any sort of crunching in your low back too much. Roll the tops of your shoulders back, squeeze the elbows in towards each other. Keep your knees and hips in one line, take a breath in. And then maybe start to gaze up to the ceiling, but if that doesn't feel nice in your neck, keep looking forwards. I'll do the looking forwards option. Keep your heart lifting up, keep your hips reaching forwards. This might be enough for you, and we're going to stay here for about 4 more breaths. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can reach and hold on to your blocks by your side, but make sure that this is not just making you lean backwards, it's lifting your chest up higher. And if you want to go further, you can reach back towards your heels and keep lifting the sternum up. 2 more breaths, breathe in, and don't forget you can come out at any time. Breathe out. 1 more, inhale. Lovely, and exhale to come out of this. Protect your low spine by making sure your hands are supporting your sacrum. Engage your belly muscles, your core, and sit back onto your heels. Just pause for a moment here. Try and avoid this natural urge to fold forwards and just have your palms face up. Find this neutral spine a moment. You might want to close your eyes. Feel your heart beating. Just notice any sensations or any emotions that come up in that pose. It's a big heart opening pose, so it can bring up different sensations. Alright, if your eyes are closed, just opening them again. Okay. And then you're going to reach forwards. Tuck your toes under. We're going to find downward facing dog and try and find a little bit of a forward fold, but nothing too much after that big back bend. Maybe pedal your feet again if your backs of your legs feel that they need it. Try not to lose the rhythm of your breath, the attention on your breath. We're going to come into pigeon pose now, one of the favourite of mine, to stretch the outer hips. If your knees don't like this, I'm going to show you an option lying on your back the same. But otherwise, come with me. You're going to reach the right leg up to the sky, bend the knee and open the hip. Just visualise that ball and socket joint. See if you can find a bit of space there. The pose that you're going to come into, pigeon, is a bit of a compression on this joint, but I want you to see if you can find a little bit of smoothness of the surfaces in the joint when you come into it. So open and find space first, and then straighten up. Bend that right knee, and bring the right knee behind the right wrist. So the right knee is behind the right wrist and towards the right side of the mat. So it's not directly underneath your body, it's out to the side. And then look behind you, heel toe that left leg back and back. Find a nice proud pigeon, trying to square your hips. And if you've got the right hip is off the ground a lot and it's creating pressure in that knee, always support it with either a cushion or a block. And then come forwards into a sleeping pigeon. And if this is not good for your knee, you're going to lie on your back, bend your knees, and bring your right ankle on top of your left knee and hug that left knee in. This is equally as good. Remember, it's not about searching for the perfect pose today. It's about noticing how your breath is when you're doing these poses, these movements, and noticing where our attention is. So just staying in this pigeon pose, sleeping pigeon, for about another 3 breaths. Can you relax down into your shoulders a little bit more, and you relax your jaw? Can you soften any areas where you're holding on to any tension? One more breath here. Breathe in. And exhale. Lovely. If you're forwards in this sleeping pigeon, walk your hands back towards your knees. If you're lying on your back, come all the way up to a seat. No, in actual fact, if you're lying on your back, stay there and just switch legs. So take the other knee, ankle on top of the other knee. If you're in a regular pigeon, come back to downward facing dog. And then reach your left leg up to the sky and bend that knee, open the hip. So you're visualising that ball and socket again. The surfaces against each other. Try to visualise getting a bit of space, a little bit of that synovial fluid stimulation when you come into this pose. Straighten up that left leg and then bend the left knee and bring it behind the left wrist. Don't forget, it might feel different on this side to the other side. One knee might not feel so good, so you can always lie down and take that option. Once you've squared your hips, if you need any support for that bent knee hip, the left hip, take it, and then reach the hands forwards. So Jean, you're reaching through the hole in the middle, that's it, yeah. If anyone else is on the floor. See if you can soften, see if you can stay with that breath. Let go of any planning, to-do lists. Just be here just for a few more minutes. Be moving and breathing for a whole hour now. So the breathing and being conscious of your breath is a really good practice for us every day. Even if it's only for 5 minutes in the morning, just sitting and breathing slowly and steadily. Or if it's taking this awareness of your breath when you're out walking, or doing anything really. One more breath here, breathe in. And then breathe out. Sigh out. Lovely, come back to center. And then if you're in this regular pigeon, just lean onto one side and come all the way to a seat. If you're on your back, just roll yourself onto your side and come into a seat. All right. And then you're going to start with both your legs straight. How are you doing? So finding Dandasana, which is staff pose, just to make sure that you're sort of nice and upright, engaging through your core muscles, your breath smooth and steady. Hands by your sides, and your toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Your heels might even lift as you're engaging through your thighs. This is called Dandasana staff pose. So it's quite a hard pose. We're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. So see if you can just lightly press the ground away with your palms. If it helps, you can always bring your hands onto blocks and open the collarbones a little bit more. This is actually quite a hard pose, even though it looks quite easy. So really stay nice and upright, engaging through the belly, engaging through the quadricep muscles, and using your breath as a marker of the time. Take about 2 more breaths here, breathing in, and breathing out. One more inhale. And exhale. And then if your legs are shaking, that's okay. Relax and let the heels come onto the mat. Okay. Bring the soles of your feet together and bend your knees, coming into a starfish pose. So not a Baddha Konasana, not where your feet are right close to your hips like this. Unless you particularly want to do that, it feels good on your inner thighs, go ahead and do that. The one I'm going to guide you through is a nice forward fold with a little bit of a roundedness in your back. So I like to have my feet further away, hands come under the shins, and just bring my hands towards the toes. And just let my back gently round and bring the forehead towards the floor. It doesn't matter how near the floor or how far away you are, we're all different in our bodies. Just closing down your practice with these sort of forward fold movements just seals everything, quietens everything down. Stay with your breath and let your shoulders relax. I'm going to take about 4 or 5 more breaths here. With every exhale, you might find your shoulders relaxing a bit more. Never overstretch in these forward folds, especially when you're rounding your back. If anything pinches or hurts, you always back out. Next inhale, slowly start to come all the way back up to center. Hold on to the knees, bring your knees in together, And then keep your feet bent actually and lower yourself onto your mat, coming all the way onto your back for our last couple of poses, just a nice supine twist. So I'm just going to do a nice, my favourite twist in actual fact. Straighten your right leg out, hug the left knee in towards you, really nice and closely, so you're getting a bit of compression there in the front of the hip. And then hold on to the outside of that left knee with your right hand and just pull that right knee across your body. It doesn't matter if it doesn't reach the floor, mine doesn't. And then reach your left arm in the opposite direction and turn and gaze towards the left fingertips. Just find a nice sort of compression in that hip, but more is the twist. And see how your breath is. If you've got that ujjayi breath, just start to let it go and be soft and smooth. No need to do that anymore. Your next breath in, come back to center. Hug both your knees in. Before we take the other side, just Apanasana, give yourself a loving squeeze there. And then lengthen the left leg forwards, holding on, squeezing that right knee in even closer. And then holding on to the outside of the right knee with the left hand and pulling that across your body. And then your right hand comes out to the right. Turn your gaze towards the right fingertips if you like. And take those breaths. Breath in, come back to center. Hug both your knees in. Bring your chin up towards your knees. Give yourself a nice little hug inwards. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth and sigh out as you let your legs go as long as your mat. Your arms come out to the side. Find this Shavasana if you can, even if it's for a few minutes or even if it's for 1 minute. Give yourself this time in peace and quiet and calm. And then, if you like, you can bring one hand to your solar plexus and one hand to your heart. Just feel that groundedness, that connection. Remember to yourself that intention for your day ahead. That gratitude. And those kind, loving words towards yourself. And then you can relax. So stay in Shavasana as long or as short as you want. I'm not going to guide you out. I'm going to let you stay for your own practice. Thank you for joining me.